Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Owning a sophisticated piece of technology or having super fast broadband set up at home is fantastic, but it doesn't necessarily make one a responsible user. While our kids are wired and supposedly media savvy, they can also do silly things that can get them into trouble online. And this morning we chat to creative parenting expert and author Nikki about some of the more common mistakes that can possibly put our tweens and teens at risk, but that can easily be avoided by simply keeping them informed and educated. Nikki, thank you so much once again for joining us and helping us understand this tech and media world, in terms of being parents and how to go about that. And I think one of the things that kids really have access to is information, cell phones, tablets. What are some of the traps that they can fall into?
And it really, you mentioned the word mistake, Ewan, and these are mistakes. They're not intentionally necessarily looking to get into trouble. But the first one would be passwords. And if you've got a cell phone, it needs to be password protected. Many, many kids do not have a password protected phone. If it isn't protected with a password, any of your friends can pick it up and then they can upload, download, do whatever they like, use up your data, maybe download stuff that you wouldn't download that could get you into trouble. So that's the important thing. And then the other trap is that children give their BFF, their best friend forever, their password, and they let their friend use their phone. And that's not good, safe practice. The other thing is to choose a good, secure password. Often kids are using 1234.
Yeah, which is just quick and simple.
Or I love you.
Oh, wow.
These are really common ones, some of the most common ones. Now, everybody's going to try those two before they try anything else. And depending on what you're putting out on social media, people can start guessing, like your favorite holiday destination might be your password. So be careful of what password you actually choose.
So I think a lot of focus and emphasis need to go into getting your personal privacy settings in order.
Definitely. And the weird thing is that 90% of Facebook users never apply privacy settings. Now, that goes across the board from adults to kids. Now, whatever social media networking platform you're using, you need to choose your privacy settings. You need to choose who can and who cannot see this particular picture. You need to categorize your friends. So there is a degree of choice. So you need to apply that choice to what you're actually doing on social media. Very, very important. And then something that kids can fall foul of is that they leave their geolocation settings on their cell phone. And that tells the world where to find them. Now, I know that there's bragging rights involved at being at a concert or here, there, or wherever, but be careful. Because some people are tracking you, and you don't know that you're being tracked by people who don't have the best intentions for you.
Exactly, and I think this is where parents need to step in. I mean, you've got a world full of information when it comes to this, but I think parents need to be educating themselves when it comes to things like this privacy settings as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about places like free Wi-Fi? It's becoming a trend. A lot of places are offering free Wi-Fi. Is this something that our children should be aware of, and is it safe to use?
Very much so. They need to be aware it is going to become more and more that whole cities will be wired and children will have access to free Wi-Fi, as we will have. In fact, that's what's leading innovative centres around the world, is that they're actually, putting this free Wi-Fi together for everybody to use. But if you're sitting in a restaurant, you need to make sure that if it says Wi-Fi, that it has the restaurant's name in front of it. If it just says Wi-Fi, it could be somebody sitting on a street corner who's set up a hotspot. And then if you dial into that, you're actually going to be giving away all your information. They can access everything that you're doing, your passwords, everything. And kids just love to download stuff in a restaurant and use that data bundle and not their own. So just be a little bit careful about that.
It's a scary thought, it really is. But I mean, ultimately, if you are not taking care, if our children are not taking care, you can ultimately damage your reputation going forward.
You so can, and very much the visual stuff, so photographs, video uploads that you're putting up of yourself, you and your friends, those are the things that they're so visual, people will remember them. So we really do need to teach our kids to be careful what they're uploading, because the internet remembers everything. There are multiple copies of the internet made every single day, cached, backed up. So even if you delete something today, it was there yesterday, and you don't know who has shared it on their timeline already. So you can delete, but it's still there, and people who are doing proper searches know how to find stuff, very old stuff. And that will come to haunt you when you're looking for a job one day, because all recruiters, companies who are offering jobs today, they know that they need to search Google. They need to search the internet to see what your online life looks like. And what we've got to make sure with our children is that they learn to marry their online and their offline life so that it's congruent and tells a good story.
But I think it all starts with our parents being knowledgeable and being able to teach our children from a young age how to be online and tech savvy. But luckily, you brought out a brand new book, right?
Yes, it's called
Tech Savvy Parenting.
That's right. And it's available now in bookstores. And it really covers every screen in a child's life, starting with television and going into cell phones, gaming, social media, and how to guide your children with their on-screen life, and giving parents perspective as well as helpful hints and tips on how to keep their children safe online.
Well, I think with being a father myself, I definitely need to get my hands on that book. It seems very, very interesting. Nikki, thank you so much just for sharing your extremely valuable advice with us this morning. Really appreciate it. Now, there are some very simple procedures one can put in place and basic guidelines one can follow. Now, Nikki's new book, Tech Savvy Parenting, is now available in stores, and one lucky viewer will have the opportunity to win this book. All you need to do is SMS the keyword book, your name and city to 33728. That's book, your name and city to 33728.
Turn your house into a connected home for only $3.99 per month from SA's best fixed and mobile broadband network. Call 10213 or go to a Telkom store.